It's me, your Uncle Cooper, and this is a Cooper tire. Great tire. Now, it's not gonna cook you a pot roast, but it will stop when you hit the brakes. And these truck tires can stop on average 10 feet shorter than other tires on a wet road. See, the trick is in the grip, and these tires grip like my handshake. Look, I'm your uncle. I love you. I want you to stop when you need to. Doesn't matter if it's for a red light or a duckling. So go with the Coopers. Cooper! And never start something you can't stop.
With over 40 years in business, High Tide Boat Lifts is committed to elevating your craft. Whether you own a personal watercraft or a large yacht, we can design and create the perfect lift for your needs. At High Tide Boat Lifts, we understand that you've worked hard to get to a successful place in life. We'll ensure you have a hassle-free experience, maximizing the time you spend on your boat with family and friends, and supporting your dreams out on the open water.
Karting and motorsport enthusiasts, Lucas Oil School of Racing is America's #1 Formula Car race school. Enjoy modern paddle shifters, pit speed limiter, and onboard video along with integrated data systems. Get started today with our 2-day basic or advanced course. Lucas Oil School of Racing is the official school of the Road to Indy. We can also qualify you for your SCCA license. Get started today by visiting us at www.lucasraceschool.com.
Welcome to Road to Indy TV. Download the app to watch live and get access to exclusive content all season long.
Green, green, green. We're going to go 3 wide.
And Andretti Carr moving up here at Mid-Ohio.
Turn number 4, side by side through the corner.
Reedus BK and Robert McGinnis, a dead heat at the exit of turn number 2.
Side by side, and Oliver Askew scores the win.
Get rolled to the front straightaway. I want to say we're about 2 minutes away from the call to get things underway. I will quickly give you a bit of the grid. Christian Rasmussen and Simon Sykes will be on the front row. Both those drivers having trouble, John, in the second race of this triple header. They came in, put on fresh Cooper tires, and then went back out at the end of the race, a lap down or 2 laps down. But the grid for this race, race 3, set by actually the fastest laps of race number 2. So that's put Rasmussen and Sykes up front. So being told about 1 minute and holding right now for the start. So Christian Rasmussen in the number 6 for Jay Howard Driver Development, starting on the pole position. It'll be Simon Sykes on the outside in the Legacy Autosports Metashare number 20 machine, the rookie driver. Going to see what he can do from the outside. I think key is this racetrack, as we said, starting to dry up. We heard that information from Colton Herta after qualifying on the pole. A lot of dry spots, but still some damp parts of the racetrack. As you can see, these drivers here all on the slick Cooper tires. Some potentially have saved a fresh set. Others may have burned through them. They only had 4 sets of tires for practice, 2 qualifying sessions, and 3 races. So tire management most definitely a key here for USF2000. Eduardo Barrichello will start on the inside of row number 2 in the number 22. Barrichello for Pabst Racing, 2 wins at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Again, he will start, as I say, inside row 2, alongside Josh Green, rookie driver for Cape Motorsports in that number 2 machine. He is still in the championship fight. P6 in the title chase right now for Josh Green out of Mount Kisco, New York. He'll start 4th. Cameron Shields from Toowoomba, Australia, on the podium in round number 2 for D-Force Racing in the number 10, starting 5th on the inside. And on the outside, it'll be Reese Gold. He's won a couple of races here over the last week and a bit. He finds himself up to 2nd in points, now just 3 markers back. Race director actually talking to the drivers now, letting them know that the track is pretty wet. Moving to row number 4 right now, Michael D'Orlando, a winner in round number 1 for Cape Motorsports, starting in the 7th position in the number 4. He'll start alongside Matt Round-Garrido from England in the Pabst Racing Machine in the number 23 P8. Moving to row number 5 on the inside, Jack William Miller. He's had a couple of podium finishes this year in the Miller Vinatieri Motorsports number 40. He'll start 9th alongside Nolan Siegel. Nolan Siegel for J. Howard Driver Development from Palo Alto, California in the number 9 starting in 10th. Less than a minute away before we fire things up. And again, waiting on race control to give us the command to get things going. Row number 6, we'll have Christian Brooks. Couple of podium finishes for Christian. He worked his way up to the very front of the pack. P4, I believe, in the last race after an issue. He ends up starting 11th here. Keep an eye on Christian Brooks, especially in these tough conditions. Christian could be a driver to watch in the 44. He runs for Exclusive Autosport. And then Yuvan Sundaramurthy for Pabst Racing starting in the 12th position. Sundaramurthy in the 21. We'll give you the remainder of the field, another 9 drivers as we are getting set to fire things up from down here on pit lane. Again, 21 drivers in USF2000, the very first rung of this Road to Indy presented by Cooper Tires, and the final race of their triple header before we roll things on track again for the NTT IndyCar Series. Rasmussen and Sykes on row 1, Barrichello on green on row 2, Shields and Gold row 3, D'Orlando and Matt Round-Garrido row 4, and Miller and Siegel rounding out the top 10. Again, race control ready to call down to fire things up here for the drivers in USF2000. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are set to go on pit lane. Drivers, start your engines.
Christian Rasmussen came into this weekend with a big points lead and saw it evaporate as he has had 2 bad races in a row. In fact, 3 if you count the last race at Indianapolis, as he now has a 3-point lead over Reese Gold.
All right, let's look at the rest of this grid as the drivers now have fired up these engines. Outside of that top 12, Kiko Porto, 2 pole positions at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. He will start in the 13th spot, Kyle Dupel in 14th. As we have a good look here at Christian Rasmussen starting on the pole position, and he needs to grab a hold of his championship again. Christian won the first 6 races of the season to take a commanding point lead, but then issues in the last 5 events have absolutely eradicated that lead down to just 3 points. And we'll continue to watch these drivers as they pull out. Let's finish up the field here for you. Prescott Campbell, the number 1. Lucas Oil School of Racing Formula Car champion, rolling by us right there, the number 1 machine for Exclusive Autosport. He'll start 15th alongside Christian Bogle in the J. Howard Driver Development number 7. Wyatt Brkacek in the number 5, starting 17th alongside Josh Sarche for D-Force Racing. His debut weekend here in the USF2000 program. Michael Myers, Josh Pearson, and Max Kaiser rounding out the 21-car field. Now have a look at that racetrack there. How much has that changed from what we saw, John, maybe 20 minutes ago in the middle of the IndyCar qualifying session? This is essentially a dry racetrack coming up to the keyhole.
Exactly right, and race control is telling us we are going to get two parade laps, so these drivers will have 2 opportunities to have a look at this racetrack. There are still going to be some damp spots. It may look dry there, but there's definitely going to be some spots where there's still some moisture on the racetrack, so hopefully these drivers will pay attention during these 2 pace laps and get their mindset as to where they can go and where they need to avoid it, especially the fact that they're all on slick tires.
And that was the reminder, John, from race control, talking to the drivers, saying, hey guys, remember during these sighting laps, don't just start warming the tires up. Get a really good look at an understanding of this racetrack. There are going to be parts where are lower. John talked about earlier today about the elevation changes here and how there are some parts of this racetrack that are going to be damper. You can see coming through turn number 4, the exit of turn 4, still a lot of moisture, and that's normally where those drivers will be rolling out coming through turn number 4. You hit the apex, that exit point right there in that rough part of the racetrack.
And you can see the guys even on the pace lap here experimenting a little bit, trying to get the power down, and the rear end stepping out on them in that very heavy acceleration zone just coming out of turn 4.
And what could be interesting is see some drivers with sticker Cooper tires. They held the sticker tires to the end. That's going to help them later once they get some heat in the tires. Those potentially with scuffs are going to be a little bit better here, I think, early on.
Yep.
As they won't have to get that sheen off the tire. They won't have to. It'll come up to temperature a lot quicker.
Sure.
But again, Rasmussen starting on the pole alongside Simon Sykes. Christian Rasmussen trying to grab a hold of that championship that he's kind of let slip away a little bit here. Still the point leader by 2 markers over Reese Gold, the young Florida driver. Simon Sykes, good to have Simon here on the number 20 machine from Athens, Georgia, running with Legacy Autosport alongside Maradi Autosport, Medishare on the side of the car. Yellow flag being thrown here at start finish, so I believe that means this will probably be a lap. We'll see.
Yeah, they've started the clock.
Indeed. So drivers get a chance to have a look at this particular facility. They've seen it twice already in terms of race setup, but not like this, with the track as green as it is, very similar to what it was likely when they rolled in here on Friday morning for that first practice session at 8 a.m. bright and early. Now, though, they've got to go at it for the third time here this weekend. After this race, just 5 more events remaining on the schedule. 3 races at New Jersey Motorsports Park on the second weekend of October, and we'll wrap it all up on the streets of St. Petersburg, Florida at the end of October. That'll be the end of the championship here for 2020, and someone is going to win a scholarship to go Indy Pro 2000 racing in 2021. So one more opportunity for the drivers to keep building heat in these tires, but also get a really good look at the moisture levels in every corner on this racetrack.
3 of our drivers have made a points move over the course of the weekend. Michael D'Orlando, who won the first race on Saturday, has picked up 2 spots. He moves up to 4th in the points, just a point ahead of Christian Brooks, who had that position earlier. Cameron Shields, also the Australian, up a couple of spots. He's up into 9th now, but he's only 5 points in front of Kiko Porto and 9 points in front of Yuvan Sundaramurthy. Also, Christian Bogle made a move. He moved up into 13th spot in the points, and he's only a point in front of Prescott Campbell and a point in front of Kyle Dupel. So lots of points battles. Again, 18 of these drivers still mathematically in the hunt for the championship.
As I look at it, probably 5, maybe 6 or 7 actually with legitimate shots at it, and all depends on what happens to other drivers, but a great call for the crew of J. Howard Driver Development. Their pilot, their point leader, going off in the opening lap of race number 2 with the issue down in turn number 2, a flat tire, flat spotted off the track. They got him back in, and what do? We're a couple laps back, put the fresh tires on, get the fast lap of the race, secure that pole for round number 3, and maybe we can come out of here with a bit more momentum. If Christian's able to go green to checker like he did 3 times back in July when we were here for a standalone event, he may find himself getting that momentum fired back up. Otherwise, drivers working their way through the carousel. Our Road to Indy pace cars ducked on off. It's about time to go racing here with the USF2000 program. They'll work their way out at turn number 14. No, still yellow. So no start, still yellow. Unsure, potentially maybe the tail of the field not getting to where they needed to be.
Yeah, there was still some stragglers forming up at the back of the pack. So they decided to take one more yellow flag. Again, this lap counts. The clock is still running.
Indeed.
But the field wasn't totally packed up, and Starter didn't like the look of it, so he waved the yellow flag.
So one more opportunity to go around, and to be honest, for a guy like Christian Rasmussen up front, he's loving this right now. Another lap for his tires to be perfect. He wants to he wants those tires to be as best as they can, because he's got an opportunity to pull away, especially everybody else behind them kind of wondering what turn 1's going to be like.
Yep.
Turn 2 obviously looks pretty good here, but then the run down into turn 4. We know the exit of that corner is not ideal at this point for laying down that power and running back up the hill to turn 5. And I can say this, John, because this is awesome. I've raced here before on multiple occasions in a 125 shifter, a couple of low horsepower Formula cars, but that was a number of years ago, probably 10 years ago. Got a chance to get in the 2-seater today with the IndyCar experience with Juan Pedrojito, a former driver on the road to Indy, went all the way through the road to Indy, and Juan, a tremendous young man. Get another look at this racetrack and remembering what the elevation is like when you come out of 4 and go up to turn 5 and back down to turn 6. And same thing coming out of Thunder Valley. You climb that hill to the blind corner. It was cool to get that visual once again of going around this tremendous racetrack.
Yeah, exactly right. The camera doesn't do it justice. There's a lot more undulation, a lot more vertical in this racetrack, and you can really see it from the driver's seat. I've never raced this course in anger, but I have taken a couple driver's schools here, so I have been around the course at something that approaches speed for me anyway. So nonetheless, it's a ball to drive, and you really get an appreciation for it when you see it from the driver's perspective.
Field getting back 2 by 2 as they came out of turn 9 and down into Thunder Valley. That's the timings line right there that we normally use during qualifying. For those of you watching, that's a good look at that. Let's see if they can get themselves where they need to be now as they work their way out of Thunder Valley, coming down through 11, 12 over to 13 through the carousel. Always a tough corner here, off camber as well. Getting that power down. Field looks pretty good. Rasmussen on the inside, Sykes on the outside. Green, green, green. And a strong jump for Rasmussen. Sykes is going to want to slot into second, but he's got hungry drivers behind him. Are going to want to fight him for it. Sykes does go to P2. Good run around the outside. More grip on the outside than the inside, obviously. That's where all the IndyCar drivers were running. Here comes the big run. Down to the inside goes Rasmussen. He's going to block to the inside. Big outside run here for Sykes. This could be a good run. There's going to be grip out there for Sykes. He'll work his way around. What kind of a run do we have? Out of four, or other two, rather, 2-4. No issues, and Simon Sykes, he's going to take the lead potentially. He's got a better run out of turn number 2, the kink turn 3. And Simon Sykes trying to lead his first lap here in USF2000. A little bit of a spray further back from drivers on the inside. And that's got to have a little bit of concern. Sykes coming down to the inside of the racetrack through 4. And indeed, he will lead through turn 4. Simon Sykes for Legacy Autosport and Maradi Autosport goes to P1. He's the point leader in the F1600 Championship Series with a couple of races to go, and we're thrilled to have Simon here with us and looking good out front. That was a way to manage that start using the outside of turn number 2. And, John, kind of something we expected because a lot of grip on the outside still, with the inside maybe not exactly perfect.
And, boy, a great start from Reese Gold. Looks like he's all the way up to the 3rd spot already. So Reese Gold got a good jump. Started
in the 3rd or the 6th position, rather, for Reese Gold. And to be able to move up like that, that really kind of just does not play to the example of his confidence that he's been getting. It's just when you win a couple of races as he has, the confidence is there. I'm going to the front. I'm going to win again. I'm not going to let anybody else take control of this program. Sykes with a pretty solid lead now, 0.4 of a second. And here's the thing about Simon Sykes. Of course, qualifying mid-pack. He's in Indianapolis, he qualified just outside the top 10, found a couple positions, worked his way there. When he runs in his F1600 car, this guy knows how to lead races. You know, and in those F1600 races, I'm a huge fan of F1600. They're dicing back and forth every lap. The draft is there. We don't have the aero, so the aero wash isn't there. These guys are back and forth. It's pack racing up front, and one driver having some trouble coming out there. That might have been Prescott Campbell dropping the left rear off the track. But Sykes knows how to lead, and this is going to be a comfortable thing for him. He's not racing now with drivers mid-pack that he doesn't know. He's not getting a feel for what the car's like with aero wash. He's going at it, and so are 3 of the Cape Motorsports cars. That is Gold, D'Orlando, and Green going at it through 4, 5, and 6. Yeah, there they are. They're running now 3rd, 4th, and 5th through that complex of corners side by side coming up to 5. But again, Simon Sykes with the open racetrack, something he's more used to now. And this will be good for Simon to potentially try to pull away. We'll see how everybody slots back in. Christian Brooks, as we said, started deeper in the field, able to work his way now up into the 10th spot. He's putting some pressure now on Jack William Miller. And again, settling in for the start of what will be a 20-lap event. Here comes some pressure from Rasmussen on Sykes. Going to look to the inside at turn number 1. He'll tuck to the inside. Not sure if that's the best move to make. I can't see there being a lot of grip on the inside of the entry to turn number 1, John. That's still going to be pretty wet on the inside.
Exactly, especially under the bridge there. Water will stay there for a bit, and so he's got to be real cautious about diving down there, especially in the early going here.
So finally getting our race underway. Oh, here's a good battle here. Michael D'Orlando trying to the outside of Rasmussen now. D'Orlando, as John had mentioned, bumping up a spot into P5 in the championship, or P4 rather in the championship. A big win, his first in his Road to Indy career. To start things off in the first of the 3 races here this weekend. He's putting a ton of pressure on Christian Rasmussen. Look at this. They're side by side in a 4, and this is giving some breathing room to Simon Sykes. First time drivers going all the way to the left side of the racetrack on the exit, and there's Christian Brooks. He's been able to get around Jack William Miller as well, so move Christian Brooks now up into 9th. The Californian on the move in the exclusive Autosport number 44. It's been a good weekend, a good couple of weekends, actually. He had a really good performance, John, at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. His first 2 podiums for Christian Brooks, and that win just around the corner for him as well.
Reese Gold already a winner this weekend, and Josh Green going side by side for that 3rd spot as well. So Cape running 3rd, 4th, and 5th right now, and looking for 2nd. Rasmussen able to hold off D'Orlando's challenge, at least in the early stages, and stay in 2nd at the moment.
Outside the top 5, Cameron Shields in the number 10 for D-Force Racing in the 6th spot. Matt Round-Garrido, he and Shields battling it out for position. Round-Garrido in the Pabst Racing Machine, he's now into 6th. Cameron Shields goes to 7th. Christian Brooks actually just set the fast lap. He's got some open racetrack. He's got about a 2.5 seconds up to Eduardo Barrichello, so you can be sure that Christian Brooks is going to use that open racetrack to push. And there's that fight still continuing as I believe, Matt Round-Garrido in the number 23, the Brit, has closed up to Josh Green. That's the battle for 5th. So 5th, 6th, and 7th right in front of us there. Green, Round-Garrido, and Cameron Shields. And again, Barrichello 8th. Christian Brooks, though, fastest driver on the racetrack right now as he tries to close up here to take a move. There's a pass to the lead for the inside. Book it. Rasmussen goes back to P1. Christian Rasmussen to the lead. Sykes goes to 2nd. D'Orlando in 3rd. No real concern for Simon. You lose a bit of that turn in a F1600 car. They're just drafting back and forth. So he's no concern there, but we'll see if he's able to work his way back up on Rasmussen. But for the point leader right now, John, yellow flag. Being told we have a yellow. We'll quickly look around, scan our cameras, the driver off in turn number 4. That might have been Michael Myers potentially. No, that's one of the D-Force drivers. So one driver off coming out of turn number 4. Full course yellow. Stack him and pack him. And that
Sarche.
So Josh Sarche. Getting the update. John, of course, listening to the Corner Worker channel as well. Josh Sarche in the number 11 going off in turn number 4 into the back straightaway. As I said, stack him and pack him back up. This is huge for Christian Brooks, who started 13th or 14th, I believe, was able to work his way into the top 10, past Jack William Miller, fastest driver on the racetrack. He is about a second and a half behind Barrichello. Now he's going to be on the gearbox when we go for a restart.
Yeah, Barrichello up into the 8th spot. Christian Brooks in 9th, as you mentioned. Jack William Miller, Kiko Porto, Kyle Dupel, Nolan Siegel, all running in a bunch. And then a little bit of a gap back to Campbell as Prescott moving up, as he was right there behind Josh Sarche when he spun down at the end of the back straightaway. So that moved everybody up behind him. But Christian Rasmussen taking over the lead for the first time. You know, I'm guessing that Jay Howard probably sat him down and said, hey, take it easy the first couple of laps, get the car under you, don't do anything stupid, and just let the race come to you. And that's exactly what he's done.
You got to think with the experience that Jay Howard has, of course, coming up through F2000 himself, a former champion in the program, race winner, everything he did in Indy Lights, and then, multi-time starter of the Indianapolis 500. The guy has a pedigree. He's got that experience. And you talk a lot about the emerging and growing confidence of Reese Gold. You think about Christian Rasmussen, who rolls into this season, won 3 races last year, the top returning driver, wins the first 6 races, confidence at an all-time career high, no doubt about it. But then you have 5 races where there's issues, a 5th and a 6th, a couple of DNFs, 2 already here. The confidence of a young driver like that can get beaten on a little bit, shot holes into, right? And it's Jay's got to fill those holes back and say, listen, remember how you felt when we were here before? You know what to do at this racetrack. And that's sitting the driver down, like you said, and saying, hey, we don't need to win this thing on the opening lap. If you can pass, settle in.
Yeah.
We got a great race car. You'll be able to go back to the front.
Exactly, and he's done just that. So let's see what happens and see if he can maintain that lead.
Back to green immediately as the drivers work their way back here onto the front straightaway. Good jump there for Rasmussen. As again, the green flag flying, a quick cleanup for Josh Sarche. We do have one driver, I believe, into pit lane. Still in pit lane, the number 41 of Max Kaiser. Not sure what's going on with the machine of Kaiser. Sarche into pit lane as well. They brought him back in. They'll put a new front wing on the car of Sarche. Again, he at this event to gain some experience moving forward to potentially coming to run with us in 2021. But the start is rolling. The driver's out of turn number 2. Good little advance there for Rasmussen. Michael D'Orlando on the gearbox of Sykes, pushing him down the straightaway to turn number 4. I expect to see D'Orlando jumping out, and indeed he'll try to go to the inside. D'Orlando's going to go to second. Sykes pushing hard into turn number 4. Rest of the field streaming through. We'll watch to see what the driver of the number 44, Christian Brooks, can do, as he was the one that was moving forward. Brooks right there on the gearbox still of Barrichello, so he was not able to get a spot early on, but that gap was 1.5 seconds. It's now down to, of course, 0 right there with him. So Christian Brooks trying to work his way forward still. Barrichello, 2 wins at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. He's most definitely still in the championship fight, backed by just 31 points coming into the race here. Barrichello running in the 8th spot. In front of him, Cameron Shields and Josh Green. Leader across the line to complete lap number 7. Lap 8, rather. 12 to go. 12 laps to go at a 15-minute time window as well. We have to watch that because turning lap times at 1:26, that time window could most definitely come into play. Rasmussen, though, with about a 4-car length lead, but the driver's on the move now is Michael D'Orlando. He's already tasted victory once here at Mid-Ohio, and he knows if he's able to get back out in front, he'll be able to close that gap. 65 points back now for D'Orlando, and he would love to get out front. Interesting, though, Sykes led the first number of laps. Rasmussen's only led a couple of laps here still. He wants that bonus point for most laps led as well.
Absolutely. Everything he can do to pad that points lead just a bit, but I think Michael D'Orlando's looking good, and Reese Gold all over Simon Sykes now as the one of the other Cape drivers looking to move up into a podium spot once again.
Simon's second weekend here on the road to Indy, and again, best he's run so far, but of course that track position racetrack here at Mid-Ohio, always good to start up front. Off-pole start after putting fresh rubber on in race number 2 to get a better lap time, and he has shown his ability to run up front here too, which again, that's it. Not just the experience of being able to start up front, but show what you got. He's running, wheel to wheel with the top drivers in the program. Of course, Reese Gold and Christian Rasmussen, 2 full seasons already in the books running here in USF2000.
Right.
Fast lap for Rasmussen. D'Orlando resets it at 124.855. Nolan Siegel with an issue, I believe. Siegel, I think, coming back out onto the racetrack. Indeed, yes. Siegel, who was on the podium this weekend, falling down now into the 19th position. Nolan came into this particular round sitting 12th in the points. Siegel was actually, let's pick him up. It was actually 12th.
Yeah.
Correct. 12th in the points for Nolan Siegel. Strong podium finish for him earlier in the weekend, and I think we'll see more of those out of the young Californian. Again, just 16 years of age.
Field kind of breaking into 2 halves now as Christian Bogle.
That's the battle for the race lead right there to the inside of turn 4. Book it! What a pass there on the inside for Michael D'Orlando as he's trying to see if he can't get 2 wins here at Mid-Ohio. Get himself back in the championship discussion most definitely. So a good pass to the inside as now D'Orlando has worked his way to the lead and pulling away a bit, coming out of turn number 5 and 6 and over to 7, 8, and 9. What a pass there. Aggressive to the inside. He didn't get it all done at the apex, John. He needed to use more of the exit to make sure that was done.
Exactly right. And, the lap times are coming down to dry track kind of times. I mean, we're lapping in the 125s, dry track times in the 121s. So the track is definitely getting close to dry race conditions.
Yeah, and I think that the NTT IndyCar Series engineers will be watching this closely, finding out exactly where these drivers are able to get back down to. As you said, still maybe only 3 seconds off. Yeah, we're down to a 124 flat now. Drivers really starting to work it. D'Orlando trying to grab his 2nd win of the season and the 2nd win of the weekend here at Mid-Ohio. He was the victor of the opening round of the triple header here, bringing himself back into the championship fight, no doubt. It's D'Orlando, Rasmussen, Sykes, Gold, and Shields your top 5 as Cameron Shields able to get back around Matt Roungarito, who runs 6th. Josh Green 7th, Eduardo Barrichello 8th, Christian Brooks in 9th, and Jack William Miller rounding out the top 10. Here's a good look at the field as they work their way down into turn number 4. One of the things about that particular corner as well, it is a downhill corner, not aggressively downhill, but you are coming downhill braking, which extends that braking area a little bit more. And in fact, there's the battle we're seeing here as well. 6 drivers running 7th back into 12th, all lined up trying to get around Josh Green in that number 2 machine.
And Barrichello
A bit anxious, and that's where you're going to see some excitement, I believe, down in turn number 4. It's either going to be Barrichello going by Green or Brooks is going to go by Barrichello. They don't want to see those drivers in front of them stretch away, and Matt Roungarito about 1.3 seconds behind Shields and about a half a second ahead of this group.
Barrichello down the inside of Green at the keyhole turn. They're side by side. I think he's got it done.
That was an aggressive move for sure to get by there. Sundar Murali's fallen down the order a little bit as well. There's 2nd and 3rd, or 3rd and 4th, Sykes and Gold. Again, everybody deep into the braking zone. You can see now Christian Brooks trying to go to work on Josh Green. We didn't see it. I'd love to be able to, I don't know if we'll be able to get a replay on that because I'm not sure we were actually looking at the camera, but that was a really solid pass by Eduardo Barrichello getting to the inside. You can see we saw the end of it coming down the inside, but he must have got real aggressive coming in the inside of that corner.
Yep. Yeah, he stayed behind him as he turned in, but he was able to carry more speed and dive down to the inside about at the apex, and just sealed the deal as he got onto the back straight.
And John, you know, if a guy will show a nose to the inside, you almost have to give him a little bit. And
Sure.
that means you're going to probably go a little wider on the exit mid-corner there.
Yep.
Unless you can get that car to rotate and get back on the throttle early, he's going to be able to dive down the inside.
Absolutely right, and that's exactly what he did. So good bit of racecraft from the part of Eduardo Barrichello.
And we're seeing that out of Eduardo, right? Second year in the series, ran with Miller Vinatieri Motorsports last year. He comes over to Pabst Racing, one of the powerhouses of USF2000. He is really starting to get that racecraft honed, and that's a great example of what we're seeing out of Eduardo for sure.
Reese Gold all over the back of Simon Sykes too, as looks like he's got a good run headed down the back straightaway.
So yeah, here comes the rest of your field now. There's Shields. Then we've got Round Garrido, Barrichello, Green, Brooks, and we're going side by side a little further back as well.
Jack William Miller and Christian Brooks now side by side.
Let's see what happens down here in turn number 4. There's third and fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth. And yeah, Jack William Miller going at it with Christian Brooks. I think he's going to try to get him. Not going to get that job done enough because Brooks will have the run down into turn number 6. Brooks will be able to hold on to the position, but Christian was trying to go after Green and has actually got himself back into the clutches of Jack William Miller. We'll watch them as they come out of Thunder Valley now. And that is third and fourth. Sykes holding off. Reese Gold. Great run thus far for Michael D'Orlando as he is your leader by 0.7 of a second from Christian Rasmussen. He'd be the only driver making up time on the point leader. That would still give Rasmussen a bit of a lead. 281 points for Rasmussen, where Gold runs on the racetrack 270 points, so it would be an 11-point lead. Rasmussen would essentially do what the goal was. Let's stretch the point lead out over Reese Gold. D'Orlando closing up to within 61 points. He has the fast lap of the race as well. I'm probably going to get another point as he gets more laps led because he's going to add another 7 if he does get to the checkered flag here. So it'll be another point for Michael D'Orlando for most laps led. I'm really impressed with him, especially for this reason. In one of the qualifying sessions for race number 2, which is why he wasn't able to get to the very front, he went off on driver's left in turn number 6 and absolutely buried it in the tire barrier. And you think how that could potentially change a driver's mindset. Came right back, though, and was able to score the race win in round number 1, which I think is so crucial. And then you look at him in the second race as well. Wasn't all that he wanted, but he started 14th, drove to 7th.
Yeah.
And I think that's a key for him there. That move from 14th to 7th is what keeps him in the championship discussion.
Yeah, and Reese Gold is looking strong here, too. I mean, he's a winner already this weekend. Took his second win on the season after backing that up with a win from Indianapolis. And he is strong now behind Simon Sykes, looking to get on him on the podium.
And what I like about Reese right now is he's not overdriving the car either. You know, he's not making that dive bomb move because he knows even if it's 4th, I'm 11 points back. We can still fight over 5 races. I don't need to throw something away. Simon, of course, isn't in the championship battle. He's just trying to race to get on the podium. For Simon, an opportunity to be on the podium, that's something you use as a calling card when you're trying to put a sponsorship package together for 2021. Hey, I'm leading the F1600 championship points. Good opportunity to win that title. And then I went and ran USF2000 and was on the podium. That's something you put on the resume.
Absolutely right. Yeah, absolutely. Time's running down. We've got about 6.5 minutes remaining in this one, as I don't think we're going to get all the laps in.
Dive bomb move to the inside there. That's the pass for P3. He's going to try the inside. Look at this. It's Gold on the outside. Inside is Sykes. Is Gold going to hold him down to 6? Sykes is going to try to stay with him side by side into turn number 6. Over to 7. Sykes still on the inside. He holds him off.
Nice bit of driving on both of their parts.
Yes. That was respect on both drivers, each giving each other room. You can see coming down to 6. Simon gave Reese lots of room on the inside. That right there is the textbook of 25-plus years of 2-liter racing. That's what this program's all about. Slicks. Oh, that's trouble. That's D'Orlando.
Yeah.
D'Orlando just had trouble coming through the carousel. He has lost the lead. Trouble for D'Orlando. I don't know what happened there coming through the carousel, but D'Orlando almost drove the car into the pit lane, John, like the car potentially lost the rear end and he had to snap catch it. So that is the leader. A little mistake there by D'Orlando, and he has passed the lead back to Christian Rasmussen. 5 laps to go, and it's a big lead now, 1.4 seconds.
Rasmussen weaving the car a little bit, trying to get some temperature into the tires.
He did that before he drove off the racetrack in race number 1.
Yeah, exactly right. So Christian Rasmussen having the fates go his way now, as that battle for third is not done yet.
This time, I believe Reese Gold able to hold it. Yeah, he's going to get it clear and come across the bow. Reese Gold goes to P3. Sykes back into fourth. Shields runs fifth. Round Garrido in sixth spot. Barrichello seventh. Christian Brooks has been able to get by Josh Green. So move Brooks up to eighth. Green ninth. Miller 10th. So a minor miscue by D'Orlando with absolutely horrible results. Disastrous in terms of the championship, as he's now going to lose the points that he had gained back. He is now 73 points back. That's a huge swing when you go from a lead to second. You're losing at least 5 points the other way. It's a 10-point swing when the guy that got by you is the guy you're chasing in the championship.
Yeah, exactly right.
So here's your top 10 now with 4 laps to go. Rasmussen, D'Orlando, Gold, Sykes, Shields, Round Garrido, Barrichello, Brooks, Green, and Miller. That's the top 10. And I'll tell you, Simon Sykes not quite done yet with Reese Gold. He'll stay with him there in P4. Brooks most definitely closing up on Barrichello, so a couple of spots. And then look at this battle further back. I think that's just outside potentially the top 10. Good scrap there. As those drivers fighting it out, coming down in through turn number 3, the kink down to 4.
I think that's Kyle Dupel and Kiko Porto that are running right adjacent to one another.
Oh, yeah, another group is Prescott Campbell in 14th, a half second back to Michael Myers, 8/10 back to Wyatt Prokachik, 7/10 back to Sooner Amurthy. But that's also Jack William Miller, Kyle Dupel, and Kiko Porto. Those 3 drivers are locked together.
Brooks and Barrichello both gaining on Matt Round Garrido, so the battle for 6th is going to be a hot one here in the last couple of laps.
Picking them up just in the back part of the screen there as they come up through Thunder Valley. There's your leader, Rasmussen. D'Orlando still holding on to second. A save for sure. Gold, Sykes coming through the carousel. There's Shields all by himself. Shields about a half second quicker than Simon Sykes in the last lap, so he's closing up here as well. 3 laps remaining, 3 to go. And you're right, both Barrichello and Brooks. Last time by, Barrichello 2/10 quicker than his teammate Matt Round Garrido, and Brooks 3/10 quicker than Round Garrido and a 10th faster than Barrichello. So we may find ourselves with the battle for 6th, 7th, and 8th.
Looking at the time, we'll probably see the white next time by.
Both Barrichello, oh, indeed, the time as well. Yeah, 2.5 minutes remaining. But in looking at the points, Barrichello in 7th, Brooks in 8th. Barrichello would be back of the point leader now by about, I want to say, 49 points. No, 49 points. And Christian Brooks will be back by 85. Both those drivers still, of course, in the championship fight, but they're going to need some more trouble for Rasmussen if they want to get themselves back in, because Christian tried to get himself back on top.
Yep. Yeah, he's definitely going to extend his points lead if he can stay right where he is.
And, you know, to be honest, he was probably going to come home in second, 1 spot ahead of Reese Gold after he was able to get by Simon Sykes, but that minor miscue for D'Orlando, whatever happened there in turn number 13, the carousel, it looked to me, based on where he was on the racetrack, John, that probably lost the rear end and it caught it and kind of chased it back a little bit.
That would be my guess, yep.
And then and that was just enough for Rasmussen to come through. And, you know, for a guy like Rasmussen, as we do not see the white this time by.
Yeah, they just got by in time.
Yeah,
so
they did.
Yeah, they're calling for to call the leader by on this lap, so it'll be white this time by.
So we're going to go the full distance, 20 laps, just getting it in under the time window. D'Orlando just stole back fast lap of the race, which is crucial for him and for his teammate Reese Gold as well. I don't know. It's going to be close whether or not Rasmussen's going to get the most laps led as well. I think we're really close in terms of the fact that how we've gone back and forth.
Right.
And that's another bonus point, all crucial when you're trying to win a championship.
There's Round Garrido, Barrichello, and Brooks all in a line now.
Indeed.
With a lap and a half to go.
Let's watch that, right? Leader coming through 4, 5, and 6. I'll tell you, D'Orlando's push and drop the left front off the racetrack, and that is tough. There's Sykes in 4th. So there's 1st and 2nd. Here's 3rd, Reese Gold, as they work their way out of turn number 6 now. If we hold this shot and see these drivers coming through. No, we're going to keep swapping. There's your leader, Rasmussen. He'll see the white flag when they come back around. You can see the time limit coming down. They will get the white flag this time by. And you can see Cameron Shields most definitely closing up. So Shields is closing up on Simon Sykes, and that was Round Garrido, Barrichello, and Brooks. There's Green. There's Miller. So we definitely have a potential fight here for 4th position. Cameron Shields up on the wheel trying to close on Simon Sykes for P4. Same goes with Eduardo Barrichello closing up on his teammate Matt Round-Garrido. And Rasmussen resets fast lap of the race. Another bonus point. They're going back and forth on bonus points. Final circuit. Last lap now for USF2000 to cap off their triple header weekend here at Mid-Ohio. It wasn't on the schedule, but because of the rain, we're going to have an Indy Pro 2000 race for you after the IndyCar event. If you don't want to jump out in the traffic, feel free to hang out and watch one more race here this afternoon as Indy Pro will take to the racetrack at a yet to be determined time, sometime after things are done with IndyCar.
I think Barrichello may make a bid here on his teammate at the end of the straightaway just as the camera cuts away.
I think you're probably right. It's going to be pretty close. Watching the leader come through turn 6, you can see this track continually drying. You know that the IndyCar engineers watching this track through the cameras here to find out whether or not we're going full. They'll go full dry, but where do you go in terms of chassis setup knowing that the track is what it is? But we're still, again, significantly time away, over an hour away. This track's going to be completely dry by the time we go racing all over. Here's the rest of the field coming up the hill. Otherwise, Christian Rasmussen, folks, gets himself back on the top of the box, 7th win of the season. Double checker for Christian Rasmussen. He once again returns to victory lane, pads that point lead. The battle further back. No changes over the final circuit. D'Orlando ends up in second. Reese Gold third. Cape Motorsports second and third again. Simon Sykes P4 for Legacy Autosport and Maradi Autosport. Cameron Shields, another top 5 finish. Really good weekend for Cameron and D-Force Racing. Matt Round-Garrido in 6th spot. Eduardo Barrichello 7th. Christian Brooks in 8th. Josh Green 9th. And Jack William Miller rounding out the top 10. Look at the championship points. 287 for Christian Rasmussen. 273 for Reese Gold, so it's a 14-point lead for Rasmussen as he stretches it out nicely. You go down to Eduardo Barrichello at 237, so 50-point back is Barrichello. D'Orlando back by, I want to say around, 73 points. And then Christian Brooks back by 86. So a lot of drivers still in the championship fight here, John, but that was a really strong clutch run for Christian Rasmussen. Really the drive to second, but he'll take the gift from D'Orlando to go on top of the box.
Absolutely right. Yeah, after 5 bad races in a row, it's great to see him get back to his winning ways and notch his 7th win on the season.
Time for me to head over to Tatis Victory Lane. Rasmussen, D'Orlando, and Gold will meet me there. That wraps up their triple header. Indy Pro 2000 still to come, and the big show as well, the NTT IndyCar Series.
Is the Indy Pro 2000 going to pick up where they left off, or are they going to total restart?
Now, I don't get the final result, but talked to one of the race control folks, and that's what they're saying. We are going to do a single file start because of the red flag. Essentially, it'll pick up where they were left off.
Got it.
A couple drivers who were in the championship fight, Devlin DeFrancesco and Hunter McElroy, a couple laps back because of the issues they had in turn 1, but being told a single file restart picking up where we left off in that race.
Fantastic. Thanks, Rob. We'll see Rob Howden again. You'll hear him on the IndyCar Radio Network as one of the pit reporters, and he'll be back with us after the end of our IndyCar race as we will bring you the conclusion of the Indy Pro 2000.
It's me, your Uncle Cooper, and this is a Cooper tire. Great tire. Now, it's not going to cook you a pot roast, but it will stop when you hit the brakes. And these truck tires can stop on average 10 feet shorter than other tires on a wet road. See, the trick is in the grip, and these tires grip like my handshake. Look, I'm your uncle. I love you. I want you to stop when you need to. Doesn't matter if it's for a red light or a duckling. So go with the Coopers. Cooper! And never start something you can't stop.
With over 40 years in business, High Tide Boat Lifts is committed to elevating your craft. Whether you own a personal watercraft or a large yacht, we can design and create the perfect lift for your needs. At High Tide Boat Lifts, we understand that you've worked hard to get to a successful place in life. We'll ensure you have a hassle-free experience, maximizing the time you spend on your boat with family and friends, and supporting your dreams out on the open water.
Karting and motorsport enthusiasts, Lucas Oil School of Racing is America's #1 Formula Car race school. Enjoy modern paddle shifters, pit speed limiter, and onboard video along with integrated data systems. Get started today with our 2-day basic or advanced course. Lucas Oil School of Racing is the official school of the road to Indy. We can also qualify you for your SCCA license. Get started today by visiting us at www.lucasraceschool.com.
Welcome to Road to Indy TV. Download the app to watch live and get access to exclusive content all season long.